You have chosen the Curtis Zone, and I thank you. I am your humble and handsome host, Dylan J. Curtis, and ladies and gentlemen, it is that time. I'm giving you a history of both Power Rangers Zeo and Power Rangers Turbo. I'll explain as much as I can in this episode, but at the same time, I'll be as brief as possible. Now, this is going to be a long one. I expect for everyone to just bear with me, just watch, listen, and remember to hit the like and subscribe button for more content from the Curtis Zone. We're still binge watching Bakugan Battle Brawlers Gundalian Invaders, so remember to log on to Facebook, friend me on Facebook if you want to watch with us, okay? And don't forget to look at my pecs. That's right, I'm popping them right now. More on that later. For right now, let's get into the episode. Power Rangers Zeo would have their first episode in April of 1996 and had their final episode in November of 1996. And like a lot of shows of its time, it was hugely part of the Fox Kids Saturday morning lineup, along with Spider-Man the Animated Series, NASCAR Racers, and VR Troopers. One thing I should also mention is that Power Rangers Zeo came directly after the Mighty Morphin Alien Rangers, which means that it followed the elements from Mighty Morphin Alien Rangers to Power Rangers Zeo. It picks up right where it left off, with a non-fiction origin. Let's get into the fictional origin, shall we? Before the Zeo Rangers were the Zeo Rangers, they were turned into children by Lord Zed. And this is when the Machine Empire came to Earth. And during this time, the Zeo Rangers traveled throughout time to find the Zeo Crystal. During this time, the Alien Rangers had taken over for the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers to fight evil in Angel Grove. But the difference between the Alien Rangers and the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers is that one, they were aliens, and two, they were known as Aquatarians, meaning that and their one weakness was the fact that their bodies had to be extremely hydrated at least once a day. Returning to reprise their roles as Cat Zeo Ranger 1 Pink, then there's Tanya coming as the Yellow Ranger, aka Zeo Ranger 2 Yellow, and then Rocky Zeo Ranger 3 Blue, Zeo Ranger 4 Green was Adam, and finally the leader of the team, Tommy Zeo Ranger 5 Red. Now, I should also mention that Ashley, the original Yellow Mighty Morphin Power Ranger, she actually stayed back in time, and Tanya took over for her. And this is when Tanya became the new Yellow Zeo Ranger. This episode of Power Rangers Zeo was also the first episode of Power Rangers Turbo. It was called Turbo, a Power Rangers movie. In this movie, we get new Zords, new weapons, new power suits, and a new Blue Ranger. Blake Foster, aka Justin, he is still the youngest Power Ranger in Power Ranger history. In this movie, we meet Divatox, who plans to join forces with an evil entity known as Malagor in a sinister marriage. And so she kidnaps Larigo, the wizard, and his wife and family. But Zordon helps create the new Turbo Zords, which help the Power Rangers get to this island where Malagor is being held. Now, the Turbo Zords, they are different because they are cars, not animals or Egyptian-style stuff. Truth be told, they're a lot cooler too. With the help of the Turbo Zords and the new Turbo Megazord, the Rangers are able to defeat Malagor. But not before Divatox kidnaps former members Jason and Kimberly to use as Malagor's children. One significant thing I should mention about Power Rangers Turbo is that in Power Rangers Turbo, like in the middle of the series, Tommy, Adam, Kat, and Tanya all relinquished their powers and gave them to 4 new Power Rangers. Their names were TJ, Cassie, Ashley, and Carlos, TJ being the first black guy to ever play a Red Ranger. With all that said and done, let's get in my top 5 favorite episodes, ladies and gentlemen. My number 5 favorite episode is known as Revelation of Gold. This is when we meet Trey of Triforia, and he finally explains the Gold Ranger powers and why he needs to pass them on. My number 4 favorite episode is known as Game of Honor. This is the episode where we really get a look at Johnny Bosch's best martial arts moves. All right, now everyone knows that Johnny Bosch, he made it to the top 10 best martial artists in all of children's programming. And in that episode, Game of Honor, you know why. Okay? Yeah, that's right. I'm popping my pecs again. My number 3 favorite episode is One Last Hope. In this episode, the Phantom Ranger takes the Turbo Rangers to the Rescue Zords, and this is when they finally get the rescued Turbo Megazord. Also in this episode, Bulk and Skull complete their detective's exam during a monster attack, which if you ask me, is very impressive. My second favorite episode is known as Passing of the Torch, parts 1 and 2. In this episode, we finally lose the original Rangers and they were replaced by TJ, Ashley, Cassie, and Carlos. However, Justin stays on as the Blue Ranger. One favorite episode is known as Rangers of Two Worlds Parts 1 and 2. This is the first ever Power Rangers team up, alright? This is when the Rangers of the Alien Rangers team up with the Zeo Rangers to fight King Mondo, Rita, and Lord Zed, alright? I know guys, I'm starting, but I'm really excited, alright? And you guys are going to love that episode too. Now with all that said and done, let's move on to powers and abilities, ladies and gentlemen. The Zeo and Turbo Rangers' access to the Morphin Grid will enhance strength, speed, and agility, just like before. However, the only difference is that as the Zeo Rangers, they are stronger than before. As the Turbo Rangers, they're faster. Because the Zeo Rangers are based on Egyptian style and the Turbo Rangers are basically cars, their power gives them more speed, more strength, and even more agility. And they have different weapons as well. Speaking of Zords, you have the Zeo Zord, which are now Egyptian style. Then you have the Rescue Turbo Megazord and the Turbo Megazord. And I have to mention the Clash of the Megazord episode was pretty cool as well. That brings another episode of the Curtis Zone to a screeching close, but I want to thank you guys so much for joining us here on the Curtis Zone. Remember to hit that like and subscribe button for more content. Yes, that's right, I'm still popping my pecs. Who cares? I'm awesome that way. Not as big as Terry Crews, but still.